Next up, we've got Nick Leblanc making his return to Absolute MMA. Welcome, everyone, to our live Absolute MMA podcast. My name is Nance, and I'll be interviewing a selection of our fighters from our card coming up on April 26th, live at the Deerfoot Inn and Casino in beautiful Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Nick, buddy, how you doing?
Awesome. Happy to be here. Good spirits.
Good to have you back.
Yeah.
Look, Nick, obviously we know each other from the MMA game here in Calgary, and I'm excited to chat with you because, we always get to talk in the cage together, but not always get to chat before the fight. So I think this is a great opportunity for fans to get to know you a little bit more outside of the cage. So, Nick, how was your training camp shaped up for this upcoming bout at Absolute MMA?
It's been a really good training camp, working on my deficiencies. But also working on my strengths, trying to get better at everything always. And I think a big change has been my lifestyle has been, streamlined, and it's a lot more in line with my goals. A lot more focus on recovery and like working in, as opposed to just always working out,
I totally get that. Was there a specific area, you talk about your deficiencies, which I question that you have any, but when it comes down to some of those things, key areas you were focusing on, was there any one key area that you were looking to dial in for this fight?
Just mindset, just making sure I'm laser focused and that, nothing else can get in my way. Like the only thing I think about is standing across from David Moon and allowing myself to freely express my martial arts and truly be free in there. That's all I pray for, is like to be able to just be free and express myself and just be in the moment and share it with everybody that's watching.
Now, outside of your mental fortitude, which is always exceptionally strong, Nick, what do you see as your biggest strength heading into this specific fight?
I think my biggest strength is strength. Like I know why I'm doing what I'm doing, and I'm not going to break. I know what I'm about. I know who I am. And I think knowing myself is my biggest strength. I know who I am. I know where I come from. Like I come from a humble place, and that's what got me to the dance. And, like Mike Tyson says, you got to leave the dance with who you came with. And that's who I am. So
I love that. That's a fantastic answer and a true one. I love that. But I got to say, I think your kicks are going to play into it as well, because they are absolutely savage, Nick. I can hear them from the broadcast table every time, and it sounds like a baseball bat hitting a tree. So, I am looking forward for you to showcase your striking skills as well.
Yeah.
Now, we talk about mentality and focusing. How do you mentally prepare to stay calm and focused under that pressure? Because we know the roar of the crowd, the heat of the lights, that anticipation and excitement. What do you do to really keep yourself in that calm you talk about?
I think that like nothing in life will quite prepare you for a fist fight other than a fist fight.
Fair.
And when I spar at Champions Creed, I go against some very talented individuals. And I would be lying if I said I wasn't scared before some sparring sessions. I would be lying if I said I wasn't nervous. Like it takes a lot to train as hard as we do, and you gotta look yourself in the mirror, and you gotta send it sometimes. So that's what kind of prepared me is living a life that's I don't cower to my fears. Like I attack them, I zone in on them and I attack them, and that's kind of what prepares me, is just living that way all the time.
Living it, breathing it, owning it. Nothing but a great strategy to be successful at anything, let alone martial arts. So from a toolkit perspective, though, is there something you've improved or added to your game that we should watch out for? That's me as a fan asking you that question.
Well, I think the biggest thing in my toolkit is I'm seeking a challenge, is just my mentality is like I'm going towards it. Like David Moon is a very talented individual, and he's got a lot more experience than me. Maybe I should take a better fight. It's like some of these thoughts in the back of your head, but that's why we get into martial arts, is to challenge ourselves and to see who the better man is. So it's like, at a certain point in your life, you got to spread your wings and fly. And that's a skill, is taking, the challenges that you're uncertain about and facing them head on. I think that's the biggest skill. And a lot of I have great mentorship from Coach Brian Bird. You got to give shout outs where they're due. He's a very wise individual. And, I've been trying to take it in and be a better student. Is learning, I guess, would be another skill I like to hone in on.
That absorption will really come down to it in that later part of the rounds, or the digging deep. If you get some impact that you've got to deal with, those are those moments you draw from, right?
100%. Yeah.
So how does this fight fit into your long-term goals in the sport of mixed martial arts? Like, what's the bigger picture for Nick Leblanc?
Well, there is no tomorrow, Jay. There's only the moment. So one fight at a time. Me and David Moon are going to square off, and then I'll let you know in the cage what's happening after. Right now, I love training. I love being in the gym. I love improving. So my long-term goal is to be the best martial artist I possibly can be.
Yeah.
And whatever way my road goes, whether I'm, boxing in a dusty casino when I'm 42 or under the lights of the UFC, like, I'm going to be like water, right? And I'm not going to restrict myself or, try to quiet myself. I'm just going to be who I am and fight the fights that come my way and fight the fights that I want, keep going up that challenge bar until you're at the top.
Well, I'll keep focusing on that fluidity and that freedom of expression you talk about, because that's really what I think this is going to be about, and what, frankly, you've always been about. So, Nick, thank you so much for your time and joining us here on the Absolute MMA podcast. We're really looking forward to having you, as always, a staple in the roster and an exceptionally strong fighter. So that matchup between you and David Moon is one I cannot wait to see.
Let's go. You're the man, Jay. I appreciate your time too.
Always.
Good interview. Peace.
Hey, talk to you soon.